Hi everybody, so I was getting a lot of requests to do a video on how I juice. I just got done with a 7-day juice fast. I did lose 10 pounds, which was super exciting. Usually you end up losing kind of like about 2 pounds a day, and then you kind of start to plateau sometimes towards the end. It just depends on the person and how much you're drinking and how much exercise you're doing and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you the recipe that I use. I did the same recipe every day because I really like this recipe. I didn't really get tired of it or bored of it or anything. But you can do some different variations of it. So just to save some time, I already washed the vegetables and everything. Just so you don't have to watch me washing any vegetables. I have a whole head of kale that I'm going to use. I have a whole cucumber. I've got 3 red apples and 2 green apples. I have a whole lemon I'm going to use, and I am definitely going to peel this. That was one mistake I made when I first got my juicers. I did not peel my citrus and we didn't drink it. 4 carrots, and I have a piece of ginger, and we're going to take about an inch off of this for the ginger. I have lots of questions about this and how I did it and everything. It is not really easy necessarily. It takes a lot of willpower. You gotta make sure that you really want to do it. It's gonna suck for about 3 days. So if you can get over that kind of 3-day hump, even if you just want to do it for 3 days, if you can get through that first 3, then by the 4th day you're kind of like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. Your body kind of adjusts and it realizes how you're accepting your nutrients, and so it's not as difficult for you after that. And it gets easier to kind of avoid temptation. Plus, you're kind of getting rid of all of your cravings anyway. By the 3rd day, your body has gotten rid of all of the excess kind of crap in your system, so you're not craving the stuff that you had before that. Although I did crave Chinese food like pretty much every day. That's my like nemesis. I love Chinese food. The other thing with it, let's see, I had a lot of questions on it. When it comes down to it, it's not the cheapest thing to do. A lot of people, think that it's gonna be super expensive. It's not super expensive, but it's not super cheap. If you juice this recipe, this is gonna be like less than $10, and this will last you all day. Like, you don't need to drink any more than this. You can if you want. If you get really hungry at night or something, you can drink more than this, but you don't really have to. Your body shouldn't need more than this. Even if it's yelling at you because it's really hungry, it'll be fine. But some people might need more just to kind of get used to it. Total time it takes to make it is like, takes me almost 45 minutes. I've gotten faster at it though. From like start to finish, like washing everything, cutting it all, juicing, cleaning up. So you do have to have some discipline to do this. It's not a walk in the park necessarily, but it will be worth it to you. I also had Shakeology every day with it. I used the vegan chocolate. I really like that one. That was something that I was drinking every day before I was juicing anyway. It's got a ton of good nutrients in it. It really helps get rid of your cravings, and it really helps you feel not as hungry. So I highly recommend Shakeology. I can get it for you guys if you want. Just let me know. I love the vegan one. I don't really like the non-vegan ones as much. The consistency is a little different, and I don't do well with dairy anyway. It kind of throws my hormones off. Most girls don't do well with dairy. I don't recommend it for most women. And then the other thing I did was I would take the lemons. I bought like a huge bag of lemons, and I was drinking lemon water too with it, and that will help kind of speed up your metabolism a little bit, and will help you lose weight more too if you want to do that. Almost done cutting. The other thing I did was some exercise with it. You usually, like, go the first, if you're going to do a full 7-day fast, you can. But do 3 days first without exercising, because if you start exercising right away while you're shocking your body with a juice fast, you could overdo it. You don't want to get lightheaded. I mean, you can try it. Your body's going to tell you to stop, like, if you need to. So if you get lightheaded or dizzy, don't keep going. Just listen to your body, okay? Like, don't try to overdo it with this. It's a really big shock to most people when they do a juice fast. It's something totally different than most people are used to. So you really have to make sure that you're being careful with yourself. It works different for everyone. Sometimes it's all the vitamins and stuff are just a huge shock to your body, especially if you've been living on fast food and beer for the last like 4 years or something. I love ginger. I probably use more ginger than I'm supposed to, but as far as like supposed to, like what most people might like. But I really like ginger. Okay, so that's like how much ginger I use. So, and I'll wrap that in a piece of kale when I juice it. Alright, and then the lemon. I do use a Breville juicer. Some people were asking about, can they use like a NutriBullet or a blender? Do they have to go out and buy a juicer? You can use a blender for this, but you're not going to get the same amount out of it. Basically what you're doing is you're putting all of this stuff into a juicer. It's going to put the pulp in a separate area, and you're going to get the juice out of the stuff. So if you put it in a blender, you're going to get the pulp and stuff with it. That's more like emulsifying, like you add water to it and it smooths it out. You're going to keep a lot of the fiber stuff in it, but you're not going to get as much juice out of it. So you can get more nutrients out of juicing, I think, than just putting it in a blender, because you can't put as much in a blender as you can juice at a time. I don't know if that makes sense. But if you do it with a blender, you just have to add water, or if you get like a cheesecloth, then you can press the pulp out and filter it through there. I think it's harder work in a blender. I really just like using the juicer. I think it's easier and it tastes really good. I do have a really good blender that I love, and I do some green smoothies sometimes with my blenders, or with my blender. I usually just use my blender for Shakeology right now, because I love it with like peanut butter and honey. But the Breville that I use is this guy right here. I don't know if you can kind of see it. It just has a low speed and a high speed on it. I think this one was like $150 at Bed Bath & Beyond, and then they let you use the 20% off coupon. So I really like that. You can get a lot of different types. If you dig into it, there's some like super hardcore juicers out there. Omega makes a really, really good juicer that is like a real slow speed juicer that it doesn't get rid of as many of the nutrients, because the mesh spinner, it's actually like an auger, and so it doesn't break down as many of the nutrients because there's not heat that's killing as many of the digestive enzymes, stuff like that. But if you're just doing basic juicing, like this Breville is totally fine. It's not going to be a problem to use this one. If you get super hardcore into it, then you might want to look into an Omega. But you can spend $100, $150 on a good juicer. Again, get like a 20% off coupon for Bed Bath & Beyond, and you can get one from them. And it's really good. Okay. Alright, so this is my stuff. I'll show you. Ah. So there's everything I just cut up. Yum. And we're going to kick it into this bad boy, and we're going to watch it go. Okay. Let's see if I can show you that. And I usually have to empty the pulp chute a couple times on this one, just because it starts to kind of get full. So I'll probably have to empty it like at least twice. I think I have to empty it twice, or empty it once. Empty it once. This is the jar that I use for juice right now. This will almost fill it. The apples in this bunch and my carrots actually in this one I just did are a little bit smaller than I normally do, so it probably won't quite fill this. But this is enough for a day. This is 59 ounces. We just got this at like Albertsons or whatever. I made my husband drink the juice that was in it, and then I stole the bottle. So the Simply Orange ones or the Simply Apple jugs, those work really good too. Or you can split it into water bottles, whatever you want to do, it doesn't really matter. Alright. Forward a little. Alright, let's juice. So I am going to empty it out for a second because you can kind of see like the pulp is kind of starting to build up in the back. The reason I empty it is because it kind of gets stuck up in here too on this one, and then I just don't want it to get in the juice. I don't know, I like to empty it. So that's what I'm going to do really quick. And then you can see this is kind of the first part. There is a max fill line on the juice bottles, so I have to empty it anyway. So that'll go in there. Like super carroty juice this time. Usually it's not that orange, but that's okay. Carrots are good for you. Alright. I'm not going to empty the whole thing. I'm just going to take kind of this off and take that out. Okay. So you can do a lot of different things with the pulp too, which is kind of cool about juicing. You can use it as compost. I've heard people use it in like bread. I don't know, I don't cook. I juice. But I usually just throw mine away. Unfortunately, I'm not like super creative or cool or anything. I just kind of throw it out, but you can do stuff with it if you really want to. All right, so that was all done on high speed because it was harder fruits and veggies. It was the apples and the carrots. I'm gonna turn it on low speed now because it's like the cucumber, the kale, the lemon, and the ginger. The reason I want it on lower speed for this is because I don't want it to spin so fast that it tears the leaves and everything up and doesn't actually juice it. That's one thing that's really nice about like the Omega juicers and things. Anything that's a real slow RPM or a slow speed is going to make it so that the pulp is very dry because it takes longer to get the juice out of it and press the juice out of it or spin whatever it does to get the juice out of it. And this one, your pulp is still a little bit wet. So again, Breville's are great for juicing in general, but if you want to go hardcore into it and you really want to get the most out of your juice and the most digestive enzymes out of your juice and everything like that, then I would go for an Omega. I just haven't coughed up the money for it yet, but this is still very good for you just as a Breville. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to put it on low speed and we're going to do our cucumber and lemon and stuff. So I just realized my camera shut off while I was juicing the kale, so, yeah, sorry about that. Pretty much I put it down to low speed to do the rest of the kale. This is where our juice ended up. It is delicious, and I love it. The juicer that I used obviously was the Breville, and it works really good. It works really good for the most part. I just have to empty the pulp after it. After I'm done with like the carrots and stuff. I did drink my Shakeology every day while I was doing this. I love it. It's nutrient dense and it just helps a lot kind of curb the cravings. Except for Chinese food, for some reason I just crave Chinese food like you wouldn't believe. But I'm stronger than that, so and then also if you do some exercising, with this, just make sure you don't overdo it. If you get lightheaded or dizzy or anything, just kind of back off. But this will definitely help you kind of lose weight and jumpstart your health and kind of help you get back into portion control a little bit. I remember the last time I did a juice fast, and I did 5 days last time, and the first place we went to after when I broke my fast, I went to P.F. Chang's and I was like, I'm gonna eat everything in sight, and I literally couldn't eat more than a couple Asian barbecue ribs or something. it'll really help you kind of get your portions under control, and you don't crave this stuff as much. Like I really stopped craving junk food this time. Like we had cake the other day at work, or yeah, yesterday at work, and it was so much easier for me to like be like, no, I just juiced for like 45 minutes this morning. I'm not eating cake right now. Like it was just a lot easier to kind of overcome the temptation of eating the junk food because I work so hard to try to make healthy choices that it would be really bad for me to make a bad decision like that. It would just kind of, I mean, it's not like, you know, completely horrible if you fall off the bandwagon. You know, I've done it like 100 times. I'm so good at making excuses for myself, but and I know it happens sometimes, but it's important to realize that you are worth eating healthy, and it's good for your body, and it's going to help you think better, and it's going to help you feel better. And this time I felt so good after, you know, the third day. I wanted to go to day 4, and then I wanted to go to day 5. And then by yesterday, the thing, I was basically like, well, I guess I should break my fast now. Like, I've done it for about a week, and I lost 10 pounds, so I should probably break it. But the first thing I ate was a salad, you know, that a wonderful friend made for me, and so I wasn't craving, like, I'm gonna go eat all this junk food now. I just wanted a salad, and it's just a good way to kind of reboot your system, and they talk about that in Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. It's a great movie. It's where I got the recipe from. You can also use Swiss chard in this. That's another good thing I really like in this recipe. Rainbow chard's pretty good. I've done kiwi. I kind of like kiwi. If you're doing a high-speed juicer, it's going to be harder to do a lot of the softer fruits because it kind of tears it up in the spinner. That's actually why I got this one. I first just had one that was 1 speed. This one now has 2 speeds, and I like the 2 speeds because the lower speed will do like the lemon and stuff, and it doesn't ruin as much. So I like this juicer for the most part. I really would love to get an Omega, but it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, but whatever. This one works. So that's pretty much all I can think of for everyone. If you have any more questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, or if you need some support. I know how hard it is to get through the first 3 days. You are going to be pretty hungry, but you just drink this throughout the day, and you'll feel really good, and you'll get over it. It'll be okay. You're not gonna die or anything. If you feel like you need to stop, then go ahead and stop. Listen to your body, but realize that feeling hungry is not necessarily an excuse to just gorge yourself on junk food, okay? You want to respect yourself. So I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it was informative. And yeah, hopefully I'll make another one later. Thanks.